I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode 246, How to Have a Porn-Free Marriage. If your husband is struggling with a pornography problem and you want some help with it and you are not finding the resources that you like, you are in the right place. My name is Jolene Wynn. I am a certified life coach. I am an active member of the LDS faith, and I am the wife of a former porn addict. And on this podcast, I am going to share with you the tools that you need in order to start your healing journey. This is where I'm going to show you how to dive deep into intentional living, how to rekindle connection with your spouse, how to manage all that emotional turmoil that you're feeling, how to break the addiction cycle that you have to your husband's addiction, and tell you all of the ways to do that and start healing. I am so glad that you're here, and I can't wait to get started. Let's go. All right, hello, my ladies. Good morning. How are you guys doing? You guys, yesterday the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I had a great time. I let all my kids stay up. They watched it. My daughter, she is almost 7, and she fell asleep with 4 minutes left. I apologize to any of you guys who are Chiefs fans. It was not the best game for you, but if anybody is an Eagles fan, it was a great game, and we had so much fun. It was such a good weekend. We hung out and didn't do a lot. I love lazy days, and I got to have a lazy day on Saturday and just got to spend time with my kids and my husband, and it was so wonderful. And yesterday, actually something that was different was my daughter actually got to speak in church, which is fun. She's only 10, and we had kind of a regional get to a meeting where like all the individual congregations in our area got together, and she was asked to speak, and she did such a good job. She wrote her own talk all about Jesus, and it was just so fun to watch her. And I coached her a little bit through her feeling of, she was feeling a little nervous, a little scared, and we just coached through how you can just feel scared and do it anyway. And she did such a great job. So it's been a great weekend. And today is great. Today is the first day of the Sex and Intimacy Masterclass. I will put the link in the show notes. If you want to come join us in that, you can. All week long, we're going to be talking about the difference between sex and intimacy and how to intentionally cultivate intimacy, both emotionally, physically, and sexually. So if that sounds like something you want to work on, then you can come join us. And today I want to talk to you guys about how to have a porn-free marriage. This is coming to me as I am launching my porn-free marriage couples course. It is going live for enrollment this Friday on Valentine's Day, February 14th. And that is when you are going to be able to sign up. I am taking 10 couples through a 6-week course. And that is what this course is all about. It's how to create a porn-free marriage. So I wanted to talk about it here and kind of give you guys an idea of what is in this course so you can not only glean from that and take that with you and apply it to your lives, but also decide if this is the right course for you and your spouse to do together. Okay? So let's talk about how to do it. I want to talk for a minute just how I came up with this idea. I love my job. I love being the coach for the Porn Addict's Wife, but I also wish I didn't have a job. I also, as I have coached over the last couple of years, have gotten to the point where I am tired or I get frustrated of being on the opposite end of pornography, being on, I'll say, the losing end, okay? Meaning that I'm just dealing with the after effects of pornography. And I can't help but look at where we are in our culture, in our society, and look at all of our marriages that are struggling with pornography and notice that we know exactly how pornography takes hold. We know how it works. We know what it targets. We know how it works in the brain. We know when it's going to happen. And that means that we can prevent it. We can actually go on offense. And that's my whole design for this course and for the branch of my business that I started, which is called Porn Free World. And my whole purpose of this is to educate and create a momentum behind shifting the mentality so that we're not just going on defense. Right now we have had a defensive strategy against pornography. We've just been like, okay, it's here. We just have to deal with it. All guys are going to watch it. Our kids are inevitably going to see it, and there's nothing we can do. And there are just several lies like that that have put us on defense, where we're just waiting to be attacked, we're waiting to be defeated, and then we're just picking up the pieces. And I want to shift that into offense. I want to offer that we can actually create an offensive strategy. Once you understand the tactics of the enemy, which is pornography, then you can actually adjust your own behavior in order to combat that offensively and intentionally. And that's what I want to teach you how to do in your marriage. It's what you're learning how to do on the podcast individually. It's what all my clients do when we coach, but I want to teach you how to do it in your marriage. Okay. And that's what this course is all about. That's what the inspiration for this course is, where it came from. Okay. So let me walk you through a little bit of what this course entails and what it covers. The first week of this course is all about understanding what pornography is and how it's already affecting you. Because if you really want to have a porn-free marriage, you have to understand and see how it's already affecting your life, where it already is in your life. And this is for you even if your spouse is no longer consuming it. Even if your spouse is no longer bringing pornography in, it's already affected you. And this course is all about how to get free from the effects of pornography. Okay, so it's not just for couples who are struggling. In fact, I would say that it's probably, you're going to get more from it if you have already started moving forward, right? And if not, it's totally fine. This is really for anybody. I also created it for people who are about to get married. I'm like, you should take this course before you get married so you understand pornography, okay, and how it can affect your spouse. So the first week is all about defining pornography, understanding what it is, how it infiltrates our lives. And one of the key things in this is I walk you through a process of how to intentionally audit your own life for pornography, to identify it so that you can weed it out. And then I talk about how to create an environment in your home and in your marriage where you can continually check in to make sure that pornography isn't seeping back in. And this, again, ladies, isn't just for the gentlemen. This is for you ladies also. Pornography is infiltrating our lives in sneaky ways that we've just become so accustomed to that we don't even realize that it's happening. And that's why it's so crucial to really learn specifically what it is and identify it. And the other thing that I walk you through in this first week of this course is all the lies that pornography has perpetrated in our society, in our culture, and what those are doing to our marriages. Okay, like I said before, one of the lies that we're taught is just, okay, well, pornography is just here, it's always going to be here, and we're just going to have to deal with it. And I just disagree with that 100%. That's like saying, well, you know, drugs are here, and so every child is going to try drugs. I've never tried drugs. Like, I think that that's a lie, and I think that most people would agree that we teach that drugs are bad. Yes, they exist. And we also believe that we can teach our kids in such a way that we can tell them how to combat it offensively, how to avoid it, how to not get in those situations. Same thing with alcohol. It's like, okay, well, alcohol's here, so everyone's going to be an alcoholic. That is not true at all. And yet that's one of the lies that we perpetuate about pornography. Pornography is just here, especially for men. Every single guy's going to watch it. Every guy's going to have a problem with it. They're never going to get past it. And it's just going to be something you have to deal with. And that's what I disagree with. Okay. One of the things that I also go over in this first week is how to communicate about this topic. And ladies, if you struggle to communicate with your husband about this topic, you need to come take this course. Both of you. Again, this is a couples course. And one of the beautiful things about this is it's designed to help both of you, to help you each understand where the other person is coming from and give you both the tools that you need in order to create a marriage where you can communicate about this openly without it becoming super defensive, causing arguments, or shutting down. Okay? And every single week I've created a workbook. So I have a whole series of activities that go with every single lesson every week so that you and your spouse can do them together and really encourage this dialogue. And it's one of the most important things too, because even when we know we're supposed to talk about things, it's not something we normally do. I mean, how much fun is it to talk about your budget? Even though you know you need to talk about your budget, it's something that we avoided for years in our marriage, okay? Even when you know that you need to talk about something, most of the time we just avoid it because it's too uncomfortable. And that's exactly what's going on in our marriages around pornography is we're not talking about it. And it's really uncomfortable to bring up. I mean, like I said, when my husband and I first started talking about this, our very first conversation about porn was my husband saying, okay, well, I want to tell you something. I've been addicted to porn secretly for our entire marriage, and I don't want to talk about it. And so we didn't, and it was horrible and awful. And I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So that is what we do in week 1. Okay. Week 2 is all about building emotional and spiritual intimacy. There is a spiritual component to this course because I do believe that it's very, very important and powerful for you to bring a higher power into this union, you and your spouse and God. Okay. If you are not religious, all of the tools you will still be able to get, they are all practical, but this is from a Christian perspective. Okay. And in this second week, I'm talking about how to reconnect on an emotional level. And again, this is designed for both of you. Pornography has affected you. There is no denying that. So how do we rebuild? How do we reconnect when that connection has been severed or damaged from pornography? That's what this week is all about. Again, teaching both of you, you and your husband, how to do this on an emotional level. Okay, practical ways, just like you learned on the podcast, of how to do this. I also talk about spiritual intimacy and how crucial that is, what that is, first of all, and how crucial that is in reconnecting with your spouse and rebuilding and recreating a brand new foundation for your marriage as you move forward. Okay. I also go into what God's design is for sex and intimacy. I know that sexual intimacy can get very tainted by pornography. And in this week, we start breaking down how we can start to view intimacy in a different, more positive and more beautiful connecting way. Okay. Week number 3 is all about setting boundaries, okay? If you don't know how to set boundaries, which most of you don't, this course would be invaluable just for this week alone. It's teaching you how to set boundaries individually and together. How do you set boundaries around pornography? If you want to have a porn-free marriage, then we have to identify your weak spots, okay? Think of it like defenses, right? If you're in battle, it's like, okay, if we want to actually create a position that has no weaknesses, that can be impenetrable by the enemy, then we need to identify the weak spots. And that's what this week is all about. Identifying the weaknesses and then creating boundaries or defenses around them so that you make them strong, so that they are no longer weak points. And again, I lead you through a series of exercises. I teach you how to do this and then lead you through a series of exercises so that you can do this both individually and together, setting boundaries around pornography, around the technology that you use, time you spend one-on-one with other people, etc., in order to create a very solid marriage and a very solid foundation in your marriage so that the future of it can also remain porn-free. Okay, I talk about accountability partners and support networks and all of those things that are going to help you maintain a porn-free marriage. Okay, the next week, week 4, is all about healing from betrayal trauma, rebuilding trust, and forgiveness. It sounds like a really heavy week, okay? But I promise I break it down very, very simply, just like I do here on the podcast. And I teach you again as a couple how to do this together. It's really important if your spouse is struggling to understand where you are or how pornography has affected you. This is crucial. In this, I break down what betrayal trauma is, how his behavior is affecting you, and then I break down how to rebuild trust together, what he can do on his part, what you can do on your part, how you do this together. And the same thing with forgiveness, about how crucial it is not only to forgive your partner, but also to forgive yourself and what happens when you don't. This is so crucial. Again, if you're going to create a porn-free marriage, then it's not just no longer having porn coming in, it's being free from the effects of pornography. And that's what I'm so passionate about. It's what I do here on the podcast. It's what I coach on in my program. And that's what this course is all about. Okay? How to free yourself from the effects of pornography. And if you still feel like you're affected by your husband's pornography problem, then you do not have a porn-free marriage, even if he's no longer watching it. And that means this course is for you. Okay? Week 5 is all about sex. It's all about restoring physical intimacy. So we actually break down non-sexual physical intimacy, what that is, what that looks like, how to cultivate that. And then we break down sexual intimacy, what that is and why that's so important and how to cultivate that. I go deep into why it's so hurtful or damaging to your physical relationship when pornography has been introduced, and what that does both for the male and the female, and how to actually rebuild that together. This week has such powerful exercises to do that are really crucial in helping you create a foundation where you feel safe and heard in your sexual and physical relationship for both of you, and helps you uncover any lingering subconscious pain or subconscious discomfort that you have around it, so that we can heal it and move on. And that's exactly what I teach you how to do during that week. Again, together. This is not just individual, this is for both of you. So powerful. The other thing in the last week, and this is really where it shifts, this is where I teach you how to continue to stay porn free together. This is where I'm teaching how to create that offensive mental shift, how to take everything that you've learned over the course of this couples course, and how to solidify that into a way where you can maintain it for the rest of your marriage. Does that make sense? How to stay together spiritually, how to stay together physically, sexually, emotionally, how to really create that offensive shift so that you are no longer playing defense against pornography, but you're actually taking this to the next level and you are shifting it into offense. One of the things that I love about God is that he really promises us, and he talks about this in the scriptures, is that we all have weaknesses. And we would all, I think, on this podcast, think that pornography is a weakness in your marriage, right? Maybe it's your spouse's weakness. It's created a weakness between you. You don't feel as connected or as strong or as unified on this topic. And if you feel like that, then I want to offer that you come take this course, because God has promised that with him and through him, then our things that are our weakest can actually become our strengths. And I feel like that is 100% true, especially as Rob and I are examples. At one point, this was the weakest spot in our marriage. It was definitely my weakness emotionally, physically. It brought up all my insecurities. And it was definitely the weakest spot in our marriage together. It was not something we could communicate about. It was causing all kinds of problems within our marriage. You guys know about all those. I'm very open about those. And we have really, with God, as I have learned these practical tools that I teach in this course, I have learned how to make that our strength. We have done this work together. And that's what is the foundation for this course, is the work that Rob and I have done, teaching it to you so that you can also have a porn-free marriage. Not just so that porn is no longer coming in, although that is a crucial part of this that we do in the first week, but also that you are free from the effects of pornography. Because again, as long as you are still affected by your husband's pornography problem, then you do not have a porn-free marriage. And so this is what I want to offer to you. I want to offer that you come and do this course with me. I am taking 10 couples through during this first cohort, and it's $397 for the both of you to do it for all 6 weeks. Not only do you get access to all of the videos and the content for 12 months, you also get weekly group coaching calls. So while the 6 weeks, during the 6 weeks that this is running, it'll be February 24th to April 4th, okay? During those 6 weeks, we will do 6 group coaching calls that I will be running. We are going to see if Rob can make a guest appearance. I've had several requests for Rob to come and coach as well, make the men feel more comfortable. But I will be hosting and running these coaching calls. These are going to be on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and they will be recorded. You will have access to those. So you will have access for 12 months, but those live coaching calls, that 6 weeks, is going to be February 24th through April 4th. And signing up for those, enrollment opens up on Valentine's Day, on February 14th. I have already had a couple that have signed up. Right now, I just opened it up to my clients first, so they get first dibs. So we will see how many spots we have left. If you are interested, ladies, I'm going to put the link for the wait list in the show notes. Okay, I would highly encourage you to go join the wait list. What that means is on Friday, when enrollment opens, you will be the very first that I will send an email to. Okay, that way you know as soon as it opens up, you'll know exactly how many spots are left, if there are any left, and you'll be the very first to be able to sign up and secure your spot. Okay, this would be the best Valentine's Day gift ever for you and your spouse, because this is how you can really set the tone and the foundation for the rest of your marriage. All right, ladies, I would love for you to have a porn-free marriage. That's what I want most for you both, you and your spouse. And if you go talk to your husband about it and then join that wait list, join the wait list first, okay? And then go talk to your husband about it and see if this is something that you guys can commit to doing for 6 weeks together. Not only will this give you guys the tools to be able to communicate about this, to be able to set boundaries, to learn how to rekindle your intimacy, to learn how to trust again, how to rebuild that together, how to forgive. All of this is inside this course. Not only are you going to learn all of that, but just the experience of committing to this with your spouse, I guarantee you, is going to dramatically alter your relationship in a positive way. I love you ladies so much. Hopefully I'll see you inside the couples course, and I will see you guys next week on a brand new episode. So take care. All right, my lady, if you love what you're hearing on the podcast and you're ready to take it and apply it in your life to see a true transformation, then I want to invite you to come join my coaching program. Now is the best time because I have just added an annual membership, so you can join for the lowest price ever. Get all the details on my website, joleneWynn.com, and don't forget to sign up for a free consultation call with me today. We'll get on the call, we'll talk about where you are, what you're struggling with, and then we'll see what is the right fit for you and your budget. Again, go to my website, joleneWynn.com, sign up for a call, and I'll see you there.